Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Dystark doesn't plan on stopping the war until King Ornos is recognized as the rightful ruler of Ivalice, but what he didn't realize was that the church knew that he was the one who killed Larg. He thinks that he's in a position where he can beat the church with pure numbers, but the Shrine Knight Raphael doesn't think the man realizes just how much they know about the moves he's made to get into his current position. He had started his whole campaign by poisoning his father so he could take over the Bael family, which is not something that will go over well with most of his people, especially not with Zalbag. Raphael wasn't just sent to blackmail Dystark though. He brought him a holy stone as a gift to buy his cooperation, since his loyalties are clearly for sale. He accepts the gift, but Zalbag heard the entire exchange, and he leaves to go and find out if his brother really did kill their father. While Zalbag's trying to figure out just how crazy his brother really is, Ramza makes it to Limberry Castle where he hopes to find his sister. But as soon as he gets there, he gets the same feeling that he had when he fought the last two Zodiac monsters. That's when Elmdor's two super strong female bodyguards show up and attack. They're just there to stall him while Elmdor and Vormov, who have both fully given their bodies to the Lucavi, discuss their plan to give themselves the ability to enter the mortal world without needing a host body. That involves bringing back a Lucavi known as the Bloody Angel. That creature can only be brought back in a very specific body in a very specific location. The body they needed is Ramza's sister, which they have, but they have to bring her to a place called Muron Death City, and they still haven't found a way to get there yet. Elmdor's people can only delay Ramza for a little while, but once he makes it into the castle, Elmdor sends Vormov off to find a way into the city, while he goes to deal with Ramza himself. He realizes really fast that he can't beat Ramza while he's keeping his human form, so he teleports to the underground cemetery where he transforms and uses his power to resurrect the dead. Islud's sister comes in right when he changes, which proves to her that what Ramza said about the stones was true, and Elmdor lets her know that her father is a Lucavi too, because unlike her and her brother, Vormov's body was a viable vessel for them. Now that she knows that Ramza wasn't lying, she joins him in bringing down Elmdor and adding another Zodiac stone to his collection. The Lucavi from the legends were supposed to be immortal, super powerful creatures, but since Ramza's managed to kill 3 of them and they haven't just used their power to crush everyone, it makes it seem like the stories have exaggerated a little bit, or the Lucavi can't use their full power for some reason. Islud's sister decides to give Ramza the Zodiac stone that she had under the condition that he brings her with him, because she wants to know what her father is up to and why he gave Dystark a stone. Ramza had no idea his brother had a stone, but now that he does, he wants to find out why too, so he gets ready to head off to find him. Following his stepfather's orders, Olan gets to Ovelia, but not without taking some pretty bad injuries in the process. Orlandu had been blamed for Gotana's death, so Olan tells her everything that happened in Bethla Garrison. He was about to let her know that Delita had killed Gotana, but Delita comes in and admits it himself. Ovelia isn't exactly happy about that, since she's starting to think that he's not really trying to clear the path for her to get the throne. But she does trust him a little bit, just not enough to avoid eavesdropping on his conversation with Olan. Delita plans on wiping out the Hokutan and killing the High Priest to clear the path for Ovelia to become queen, while getting rid of all of the people who have corrupted the world. Olan thinks he's crazy to try something so extreme, but the High Priest had expected something like that from him. So he told the woman who had been working with Delita to kill him if he ever looked like he was going to turn on them. Unfortunately for her, Delita kills her first. Zalbag's investigation proves that his brother had in fact killed their father with the same poison that had been used on Larg's army, so he heads to Egros Castle to confront his brother. Ramza gets there in time to see Zalbag attack Dystark for what he's done, but before he can kill him, Dystark's knights show up to capture Zalbag. Ramza backs him up and they kill Dystark, but when he dies, the Zodiac Stone resurrects him as a Lucavi, and he kills Zalbag before Ramza puts him down. With the battle over, the last of the pure-blood sons of the Bael family are gone, pretty much putting an end to the family's power and influence. Ramza's not exactly sad about that. All he cares about now is saving his sister. Delita likely won't have to kill the High Priest to complete his plan himself, because Vormov, Raphael, and Balk, who managed to survive his fight with Ramza, go and stab the priest themselves. They only work with him to get the Holy Stones, but since Ramza has most of them, there's no point in working with the man anymore. They agree to not finish him off if he tells them where the entrance to Morond is. Since he doesn't want to die, he lets them know that the Holy City's entrance is at the bottom of Orban Monastery, blocked off by a magical seal. He doesn't know how to break the seal, but he thinks the spell is in the Germanic scriptures, which means Vormov once again has a reason to hunt for Ramza. The high priest told them what they wanted, but instead of keeping their word, they stab him in the back, literally, before they leave. Since Alma wasn't at Limberry, Ramza decides that the only other place that Vormov could have brought her was the Moron Temple, which is the home of the high priest. He can't exactly walk in there since they want to kill him, so he fights his way inside and finally comes face to face with Vormov, who wants the Germanic scriptures in exchange for Ramza's sister. He hands it over, and once Rafael sees that the spell he needs is inside, they attack Ramza. They realize pretty fast that they can't beat him, so they run away after Vormov summons Zalbag's soul, forcing Ramza to fight his dead brother while Vormov and the others head off to open the way to the city of the dead. The high priest isn't fully dead when Ramza stumbles across him, and before he dies, he tells Ramza where Vormov and the others went, so it's back to Orban Monastery, the place where this entire thing all began. Ramza gets there while Rafael is in the process of opening the way to the city of the dead. Ramza beats him, but he doesn't stop him from completing the spell and teleporting them all to Morond. He dies from his wounds, but not before he destroys the entrance to the place, making it almost impossible for Ramza to ever make it home. He'll cross that bridge when he gets to it. Alma is somewhere in the city, so he heads off to find her. After cutting his way through Shrine Knights and the monsters that they have working with them, Ramza finds Vormov while he's trying to draw the strongest Lucavi, Ultima, into Alma's body. It's not working though. It takes a lot of blood and death to resurrect Ultima, which is the whole reason Vormov and the other Lucavi were trying to throw the world into chaos. He thought enough people had died for the summoning to work, but since that doesn't seem to be the case, he transforms into his Lucavi form and tries to kill Ramza. When he loses the fight, he sacrifices himself to complete the ritual, letting Ultima take over Alma's body. The merger isn't complete though, so the Virgo stone that Alma was holding helps separate her from the Lucavi. Ultima still has enough power to survive without a host, but not enough to beat Ramza, who she recognizes as a descendant of the person who beat her the last time. In a last-ditch effort to take down her enemies, she blows herself up and seemingly takes Ramza, his sister, and everyone else with her. With all of Ivalice's major powers gone, Delita marries Ovelia and becomes king and brings peace to Ivalice. But Ovelia thinks that he plans on killing her too, so she stabs him. He doesn't die, but he does kill her for attacking him. Meanwhile, Olan catches sight of Ramza and Alma, who survive the fight with Ultima, and head off to start new lives somewhere else while the rest of Ivalice thinks they're dead. This concludes the story of Final Fantasy Tactics. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share, and subscribe. Grab a copy of my novel on your way out, and I'll see you all next time.